What's up, everybody? Welcome to more Heroes of the Storm here on the channel. And well, today I have a pretty special game for you. We have TeamLiquid going up against BOB during the end of the storm. We are in the Winner Bracket Semifinal currently, and of course both of these teams are amazing. TeamLiquid, a team that has been dominating the European scene for a long time, but BOB is one of those teams that has been winning tournaments left and right for weeks now. And this is one of the big tournaments where BOB finally gets a chance to also go up against TeamLiquid again. They met a couple of times in the past with mixed results, but now there's another opportunity for both of these teams to shine here. Our first map is Khaldor today, and we're seeing Sonya in play again. BOB actually drafted a lineup around Sonya, and they even have Reyna in the mix, so they're running this with 3 warriors in this case, actually. We're seeing them with Sonya, with also Tyrael. Tyrael is, of course, one of the main warriors that BOB uses, and a Johanna, protected by an Uther in the backline. So a pretty solid setup for them here in Khaldor, but we are seeing on the side of TeamLiquid is zeratul. Black Scorp on one of his favorite heroes once again. They're having also a Vala in here. Well, Fury that can really help them with the heals out. I mean, if you're thinking about the setup that we're seeing with the triple warrior, then it's going to be a bit difficult for them to really go deep enough to attack Malfurion, since normally Sonya doesn't go into leap anymore, but usually just tries to rely on Wrath of the Berserker. We have in the case of Tyrael, maybe even Sanctification, depending on how exactly they're going to play it here. So Malfurion might go for the full heal build. Grandpa Kette really likes to go for Enduring Growth and also for Life Seed, and that would help them to keep the entire setup alive. So we can expect a pretty awesome best of 3 series here at the end of the storm. And of course, Khaldor, as mentioned before, is starting the series off, so let's jump right into map number 1 to find out which team takes the lead. The Winner Bracket Semi-Final at the end of the storm, and we have our match set up. Game number 1 happens to be on Khaldor, and to the left side of the map it is TeamLiquid, the Spaniards, going up against BOB. Starting to the right side here, it's our first game of a best of 3 series, and to the left side TeamLiquid with Fortix on Muradin. We have Lucifron on Anubarak, Grandpa Kette on Malfurion, Falcon is playing Vala, and Black Scorp on zeratul. To the right side of the map, their opponent, we have Bakery playing Uther, AD already on Reyna today, with Snitch on Sonya, Zarmany on Johanna, and Aethero Angel on Tyrael, one of the tanks that he plays exceptionally well. One of the things that we have to definitely talk about is, of course, that triple warrior composition that we are currently seeing coming from BOB. And the important part really is that oftentimes when you have a zeratul against you, with triple warrior, you make zeratul's life a lot more difficult. It's a pretty smart way to go up against that, and it's one of the things that he's currently trying to do, or that BOB is trying to do. Zeratul just has less targets that he can easily take down. The amount of squishes is a bit reduced, and he has to go toe-to-toe with these warriors if he wants to go into that backline. And that's where then everybody can just like gang up on him, which is exactly what they're trying to do here. They were attempting to go for a Snitch, but in this case, Black Scorp might fall and he gets shot to pieces. So showcasing exactly what we just talked about. It's very difficult for him to really jump one of these warriors and get the damage in, especially if the rotations of the opponent's team are solid, and that's what we just saw from Team BOB. So very well played here. It's actually also one of the strategies that MVP at the MGA tournament in PAX in the US used against TeamLiquid when they were going for zeratul, so very similar to that strategy. When we're talking about the talents right now, we have on level 1 Warpaint now taken for Sonya. So not the Shot of Fury that was played yesterday a lot. We see a lot more Sonya these days, but this time Sonya might be in a bit of trouble as Snitch is trying to get at least Vortex low so that Aethero Angel can get a counter kill. And he has Muradin very low indeed, but unfortunately for BOB they are not able to get that kill in, at least not at this point. So Sonya in this case not even trying to rush away, and Snitch made it quite the very good decision in this case. Made sure that they were just basically what he was trying to do is just saying, hey, I'm dead anyways. If I run away right now, I'm not going to get away from this. So at least I might just stay a bit longer and try to apply some damage so that it's easier for my fellow teammates to really take down an additional target. So currently we're seeing in the mid lane also Anubarak together with Zarmany. AD is of course with Seasoned Marksman on level 1, the tank that will try to get into the late game with as many stacks as possible. Can also roam the map if he really wants to. And we've seen a few of the players really start to focus a lot on that Reyna play. Yesterday Falcon also played Reyna. It was a different map, it was Dragonshire, but he played him exceptionally well and got a lot of stacks, since for the longest time he just focused completely on the stacking process. They were a little bit late to the party here at the giant camp. The siege giants taken by TeamLiquid, and of course those mercenary camps in general, they spawn 2 minutes into the game, and that's when a lot of the teams start to focus on them. We have an arrow build on the side of Vala, in case that you haven't caught up on that yet. And with all those melee heroes on the side of Bob, it makes quite a bit of sense to go for one of these builds. You could have gone for a multi-shot build there, of course, too, and then tried to control the fights a bit better with the multi-shot and the frost shot later on. Bakery, a bit far out here, gets locked down, and it looks very much like he's going to die now, especially with Lucifron also moving in. So he was trying to just like deny, at least for now, the tribute, but unfortunately for him, he went a bit too far out, and that didn't really work. Double focus attack now on the side of Bob. They're taking it for Reyna and also for Sonya. And this game is in general just pretty epic, and the main reason for that is that TeamLiquid has been dominating the European scene for ages, of course. They are the team that you really have to beat if you want to claim the crown in Europe. And Bob, they have been playing together for quite some time, and these guys are good. They are the real deal, and they've been showcasing this in so many tournaments, but they haven't really attended any offline events just yet. At least nothing real big. And of course, this is I think for Bob the biggest tournament that they've played in so far, and that's one of the reasons why they definitely want to prove themselves. Disregarding for a second Blizzard's own tournaments, of course, where Bob was able to qualify for Road to BlizzCon as well, so I guess that was also a pretty big deal to them. But if we're disregarding Blizzard's own tournament for a second, and this is the biggest that they've played in thus far, and they want to showcase how strong they actually are. Level 7 versus level 6 against them, though. And, well, with level 6 now, in this case, not giving them the extra talent, they are suddenly starting to, well, they're actually still zoning. They're doing a pretty decent job, but they are going far out here, and they might lose one or two heroes. Aethero Angel is already jumping away. Zarmany is also retreating, and that was a pretty nice effort on the side of Bob, taking that tribute without even that extra talent. Well, we have now the Educating Spines for Anubarak, we have a battle momentum taken for Muradin, which is going to help him to get even more Thunderclaps out. And the reason why he goes for the Thunderclap build is, of course, quite obvious. I mean, usually you say, hey, Thunderclap Reverberation build is something that we really want to try and use when our opponent is playing a melee assassin. But in this case, it's 3 warriors that they go up against. And Reyna on top of this, and Reyna of course relying heavily on his auto attacks, but if you on top of that have also this many warriors, then you try and go for as many Thunderclaps with the Reverberation as you possibly could pull out there. So that's exactly what he's currently doing. When we're looking at the rest of the build here, we have in this case for Black Scorp on level 7 actually first aid. So that's a pretty interesting talent for him to take. He is going for a very sustainable build here, and that is just him realizing that he's going to have a very tough time against this setup. Cursed Hollow is a map where you oftentimes see zeratul players go into Regeneration Master over the potential Seasoned Marksman, which they are always taking on maps like Tomb of the Spider Queen. And in this case, he's going to have a decent hit on Regeneration, but first aid on level 7 will make him even a bit tankier, and he's already jumping away, using it. He is running into a lot of trouble every time he wants to move in here. Bob is fighting for the tribute here. They're going deep for this one. You have Snitch trying to follow Lucifron, but a good stun from Anubarak is saving him at least for now. But the fight's not over just yet with a good Condemn. Johanna is moving in again. Falcon is low in mana, cannot escape here anymore. And now, even with that level lead that we are seeing for TeamLiquid, they're starting to struggle a bit in this fight. But the Storm Bolts are still there. They go up to the well up. The tribute ends up in the hands of Bob. Zarmany has to move away. Good shields here from Tyrael. That was definitely needed. They're trying to go for ADR. Zarmany needs to escape, and he does. Everybody is rushing away. But that fight was a great example of everything that I've been saying earlier. zeratul already adapting with this build because he says, well, I have too much trouble here. They counterpicked me by using 3 warriors right now. I have to deal with this somehow. If I don't go for Regeneration Master and for my first aid, then I might be able to get enough damage out, but I don't survive enough in these team fights to really contribute anything for my team. So in this case, he decides to play a more tanky zeratul, a zeratul that is a bit more sustainable, but he gives up quite some damage because of it. Level 10 faster now for TeamLiquid, and it was really important for Bob because of that. to take that last tribute. If they wouldn't have done this, the next tribute could spawn at a time when they don't have the heroic ability, and then they are in trouble, and that's exactly the case right now. So with that lead in tributes that they have, Bob can simply say, hey guys, stay cool, we're gonna let this pass, let them take the tribute, and we are just soaking experience. And this is one of the reasons why Zarmani stayed at the bot lane for as long as he did. But now that they have level 10 as well, they can actually start to contest this. And Athero is trying to buy some time for the rest of the team to come over. They were taking one of the camps. He's doing a decent job here, but he has to be careful that he doesn't get locked down. And there is exactly that lockdown that we've been talking about. Athero gets a Divine Shield though. We have the heroic abilities in play now, and already Wrath of the Berserker used. Here comes Tranquility, and the Hyperion is moving in. A great tool for zoning on this map, of course. And already the Void Prism with Muradin jumping in, thunderclapping everybody into oblivion. Goodbye, Sonya. And now TeamLiquid is just chasing them down, taking down Johanna as well, and they will grab that tribute either way. 2 tributes against 2. And we're seeing now as the heroic abilities, well, we've already seen in play Strafe, Void Prism, Tranquility, the Locust Swarm for Nubarak. Didn't even bother in this case to go into Cocoon since there's no melee assassin. They could have chosen it, especially of course with the Sonya trying to go deep with Whirlwind in most of these fights, but decided to play a Nubarak a bit more tanky. Avatar and Muradin is going to give them the tankiness that we are used to. And looking towards the heroic abilities for their opponent, for Team Bob, we have the Wrath of the Berserker, Blessed Shield. It's also Justification, which really worked well for Tyrael when he was attacked there. We have on top of that the Divine Shield, and of course Hyperion itself was already getting quite some damage in the last fight here for them. At the bot lane now, Grandpa Kette, Lucifron and Black Scorp are starting to push against these Siege Giants. That was a smart move by Bob earlier. Just before that tribute fight started, that was actually the main reason why Aethera Angel on Tyrael had to really delay them for as long, was that we saw these Siege Giants taken over here by the rest of his team, and they have been doing quite some damage at the bot lane. So timings like this is exactly what the top teams always try to exploit here, and they did really well with this. We have in the mid lane now slowly and steadily, like, teams are going to start to roam as 4 and 5 on the map. Maybe isolate one of the heroes to get a bit of extra experience, but grouping up is important, and especially now with, of course, down here another tribute spawning, this fight is going to be extremely important. No bosses have been taken yet, heroic abilities are all ready, and this is a cursed tribute no matter who takes it. Already Bob is moving in, the triple tank at the front line. Nice Hyperion, liking it quite a bit. Bakery is trying to get the curse, he might be able to get that channel through. AD already pushed them back, but in the last second he gets interrupted, and now it looks like they are going to lose out, especially, oh, a great Divine Shield, saving Sonya for now. Athero jumped in, has that shield still ready, but Tyrael is dead, and TeamLiquid has too much sustain here. That Tranquility helped them out a lot, and once again with Strafe, Falcon delivers the extra damage, and they drop now Reyna too. Reyna is down, we have level 13 versus level 10, and they get the tribute now as well. Once again, the battle, the Burning Rage on the side of Anubarak. We have also a full heal build for Malfurion, just showcasing how little he's afraid of what's coming here. He went for Enduring Growth and for Life Seed on top of Tranquility, so the healing numbers for Brown Paquette are going to be amazing. They take down Bakery in this attempt now too. Vala even went so far as to go for a Spell Shield. That is actually quite interesting, because I really feel like she didn't really have to do that. There are a few other options that you can take on level 13 if you go into an arrow build, but of course the Spell Shield helps you quite a bit if you're going up against abilities like even those heroics. I mean, we're talking a Hyperion, for example, here as well, but there's no Jaina, there's no Kel'Thas. So Vala is trying to play here a very safe and sound build, and in this case, as she is the only ranged hero, I guess that's alright. Keep in mind that there's also an arrow build to consider, so that's a lot of self-sustain that Vala gets just because of that already. Level 13 talents are now quite important for Bob, and Bob has to really make some plays here. 8 kills against 1 for TeamLiquid. I really like their approach in this game right now. The Curse, of course, is pushing the lanes, and therefore Bob has to react to that. We have now with level 13 again the Spear build coming in. The Mystical Spear, something that is getting a lot more popular these days. Oftentimes you see for Sonya on these talents not only the Stone Skin but also the Spell Shield taken. Like, the rule of thumb for Sonya plays is that on the first 3 talents you oftentimes go for damage, and then on 13 and on 16 you are trying to get more sustain and survivability. As they are running a triple warrior setup, you can heavily rely on your friends helping you with that shield on Tyrael, with also Uther in the backline. So in this case it's just like that spear that they're focusing a lot of the attention on, which I actually kind of like a lot, so it's pretty cool. Also, with the Shrink Grey, a bit more control against zeratul is going to be a big deal. When we're talking about the stacking process for Reyna, we have him at 22 stacks, as you can see right now. 22 stacks for him, so he's doing fairly well. I mean, it is Cursed Hollow. We're not on Tomb of the Spider Queen, where it's fairly easy to get that stacking process going. The later stages of the game are going to make it a bit more interesting for Reyna when it comes to damage. But as you can see, he went for the Steel Resolve on level 13. So that is, yeah, pretty interesting, because at this point most of the Reyna players would have chosen to go into Giant Killer. Giant Killer is a really important talent if you're playing with an auto attack build, because one of the thought process behind it is that you're trying to drop that front line as fast as you can. Muradin has a high hit point pool, and Nubarak maybe not so much, but Muradin is really a hero that can take a punch, and Giant Killer would really help with that. In this case, the Steel Resolve is making a bit of a... It's a bit of an odd talent to take. I have so far not seen it in this build, but it's an interesting one as well. I mean, you have quite a bit of a bonus there during those fights, thanks to that aura that you can rock with this. So it's something that they are trying to use here now too. Talking about the rest of the builds, after Wormhole, we saw no double bomb, but instead the Rending Cleave, which is of course something that you can do, especially when your opponent clumps up and you get a lot of damage out of it. And with the zeratul jumping into a melee-heavy composition like the one that we're seeing from Bob, this talent makes perfect sense. If you're trying to snipe single targets, like squishy heroes in the backline, then double bombs can be amazing, but if your opponent clumps up a lot, and that is always going to be the case if you're playing with 3 warriors and then also a melee support, then going into the Rending Cleave is going to give you a lot of control here. You're also seeing the Tenacious Roots, and that is helping out with this as well. Level 16 is giving TeamLiquid another big lead here, and we're going to see Bob trying to fight until they have the level 16 talent on their own. For now, they need to let one tribute go that was taken up at the top already, and here in the mid lane we have TeamLiquid just pushing against the wall, but they haven't really been able to take these towers down just yet. So again, the move down here to the bottom, taking the watchtowers, map control. That's the important part right now. You need to try and control the map as much as you can. Try to get maybe a couple of camps as well. Lucifer and his boys are just waiting over here. They know exactly that there's a bit of a trap. So now we have finally Bullseye taken. There's Benediction. Also Sonya with the sustain thanks to the Nerves of Steel and the Holy Ground for Thera Angel, which theoretically allows him to steal bosses away. We already have them moving in here to contest the Siege Giants. Level 16 versus level 16. Hyperion in play. Tenacious Roots in the backline. Falcon, oh god, he uses his heroic ability as the Void Prism is in play. That didn't really help, but ADRD is in trouble as Anubara goes deep for a potential kill, but it looks like Vortex is the one to fall. Muradin is down, and now the Siege Giants in the hands of Bob, and they are starting to chase. The Cursed Tribute is spawning. Snitch has an opportunity to maybe follow this up with a bit more damage against the backline. Is he going to get close enough for a spear? Yes, he is, and Grandpa Kette can probably kiss his life goodbye. Another spear should be ready in a second. There it is, the kill against Malfurion. Also zeratul eliminated, and now with the curse taken up to the top right, we have a curse for Bob against TeamLiquid, and that is the chance. That's the chance that they've been working for. They even ignore that fort, and I'm like, why would you go for the fort? You don't have to waste your time there. You have Siege Giants pushing down the bot lane, and 3 of your opponent's heroes are dead, and Nubarak is still there, and Vala as well. Muradin is going to be back in another couple of seconds, but they're just saying, yeah, screw that. We're going to go straight for the wall at the keep, up to the top lane currently. There's still a Siege Giant camp for TeamLiquid doing a bit of pressure against the keep, but we are seeing TeamLiquid still losing those as well, since of course the waves are pushing in. The keep down here, that's a different story. This is where currently Bob is trying to make a stand. They are going to drop the first keep in the game. A great fight that they had there. Now they can move away. Void Prison is not ready yet. There was a bit of a miscommunication in the last fight, as you could really tell, especially when we saw that strafe coming in from Falcon after Black Scorp used with zeratul the Void Prison. There was a lot of wasted damage that they had there, and then that warrior setup that we are seeing for Bob was just a bit too strong. Now it's level 18 versus 18, 8 kills against 4. TeamLiquid is trying to go for boss, but there's Bakery already. They're really trying to burst this one down, but Bob is in place. The problem is that we do not have Tyrael with us. Tyrael is still sitting tight at the back line. He's moving back. He had to mana up again. And now he's coming back into the battle. And right now, TeamLiquid has, at least for now, given up on the boss. There's no camps on the map that have been taken yet, so waiting here is not going to give any of these teams an advantage. There's no mercenary camps pushing the lanes or anything like that, so the biggest hope that you can have is trying to apply some damage and poke a bit, and try to get into a good position with maybe a snipe on a hero that overextends slightly. So that's an important part as well. But we have the rotation for Bob, top to the top, trying to find out if they can maybe break through the wall in the mid lane. Vortex with a stun, but he's very much alone. Snitch is thinking about moving in for a potential spear. He can always just like chase targets up. There's all of the heroic abilities on play again, and the one thing that TeamLiquid has to use properly is, of course, that Void Prison that they have. The Hero Angel follows Black Scorp. He, of course, knows exactly where he is, but in this case, he doesn't really reveal him. That would also drop him off his horse, and therefore he lets that go, at least for now. It looks like the teams are trying to make sure that every team gets one boss. Mid lane has been pushed. TeamLiquid is slightly ahead in experience. And yep, up at the top lane, that's a lot of burst damage, by the way, that we're seeing here. Especially with Snitch also using the Wrath of the Berserker. Down to the bot, we see a very similar story when we're having TeamLiquid going for their boss. The thing is that this boss was extremely important for TeamLiquid. The reason is simple. They already lost their bottom keep. So if Bob takes this boss, then TeamLiquid is in a lot of trouble because it's going to go for the keep or for the core right away, and they can't really risk that. So in this case, the boss is a bit better for Bob than it is for TeamLiquid. Either way, I mean, it would be great for Bob to take the bottom boss so that they can go for a potential push against core, force TeamLiquid to defend, and then take maybe another keep. But in this case, it's also working out for them quite well because they have a lot of time where they can focus on the boss, chase him down as 5, so he's going to do very little damage to the wall at the keep, but at the top lane the boss completely destroyed that top fort. That helps them with experience, but TeamLiquid is still ahead when it comes to overall EXP. They've been pushing down a lot of these lanes. You have now Zarmini trying to make up for that by moving into the mid lane and catching the entire wave that crushed against the wall there. And you can really tell that both of them are super close to level 20. Black Scorp, on the other hand, could take another... He took actually another tribute up at the top, and that means that TeamLiquid, now on level 20, has 2 tributes, and Bob doesn't have a single one. So that's a really important part there as well. We're currently having, with level 20, now Rewind taken on 2 heroes, zeratul and Muradin. And we have... There are the 20 talents for the opponent. So that should give us... Actually, I'm wondering if Reyna goes for Ball of the Storm or Nexus Frenzy. He didn't take Giant Killer on level 13. So Nexus Frenzy would still be great for him. And he goes for it. Alright. So he's gonna supply that extra damage. He's, by the way, at 36 extra damage now, thanks to Seasoned Marksman. So quite a bit that he can use here. 36 is pretty solid. And over here, they're already starting to fight. The teams are looking for an opportunity to eliminate a target. Double Hardened Shield, by the way, and indestructible. Breaking through that tank line is going to be so difficult. They are extremely sustainable now, especially with Uta also using Redemption. But let's not forget that we also have 1 Hardened Shield for Nubarak. There's a lot of stuns for TeamLiquid. Great move here with the Holy Ground, by the way. Bakery trying to channel the tribute. TeamLiquid is fighting for this one. And here comes ADRD with the damage already, but thanks to Black Scorp's first aid adjustment on level 7, he's going to be back in a few seconds. But ADRD is putting so much damage out right now. He's really getting a lot of that in. Holy Ground again being used. A nice formation here for Bob, already using the Hyperion to zone out Falcon and Vortex up at the top here. Falcon is rushing away. He's getting really low, by the way. Has to use the Ball of the Storm, gets healed. But the fight is still not over, and there's not a single kill just yet. Oh yeah, here comes Black Scorp jumping in. Snitch is getting rather low. So is also Zarmini. Nice Void Prison and the kill against Sonya. Sonya is down and TeamLiquid moves in. Already the heal's gone thanks to Tranquility. But Bob is low and they are on the run. They will get cursed by TeamLiquid here. and in the meantime we've seen the top fort fall, the top keep fall actually. TeamLiquid able to push that in. ADRD still alive, but just barely. Stuns everywhere. Bakery willing to sacrifice himself, but Reyna dies regardless. Blackscope with the last bit of mana that he still had moved in, and with another quick cleave took him down. Looks like TeamLiquid wants to go for the core right away. They have a 5 versus 3 scenario now in their favor, and they are utilizing it. Jumping in for the kill. Bob is doing whatever they can, but after a pretty crazy first game that we've seen here, it looks very much like TeamLiquid is going to take the lead in the best of 3 series at the Enter the Storm Winner Bracket Semifinal. Well played by TL, and they take down Bob in game number 1. The Spanish team victorious on game number 1. Map number 1, Cursed Hollow, ends in favor of TeamLiquid, and now of course Bob, if they want to advance to the winners bracket, they have to win 2 in a row. It's not going to be easy for them, of course, not against TeamLiquid, but they have the map choice now, and Tomb of the Spider Queen is the map, and we have a bit of a switcheroo going on. It's actually pretty interesting how the drafts in game number 1 and game number 2 differ now. Bob in the first game relying on a triple warrior setup are now relying on a single warrior setup, only Muradin at the front line, and they have as their healer again Kharazim. It's actually one of those healers that especially Bakery loves to play, and Bob is kind of famous for playing the hero a lot. And they are running this with only one single warrior at the front line, but they also have zeratul now in the mix, so it's one melee assassin, a warrior, and then they still have 2 damage dealers, in this case Nazebo and Zagara. So a very aggressive lineup in that case. When we're looking at the side of TeamLiquid, on the other hand, then we're seeing Reyna being used this time, and also Khaldor. So, whereas in the last game it was Bob that utilized Jimmy, now it is TeamLiquid, and on this map, of course, Seasoned Marksman can be incredibly strong in the late game. Usually the auto attacks of Reyna are doing so much damage here, and Khaldor hits his power spike at level 13 with a chain bomb, so he can be very dangerous there as well. We have a double warrior set up for TeamLiquid, so playing it more traditional, and all that TeamLiquid needs now is one more map win to advance to the winner bracket final. Tomb of the Spider Queen coming up next here between Bob and TeamLiquid, and we're going to find out which team is going to take it here. Will Bob be able to force game number 3, or is TeamLiquid going to take it with a 2-0 victory? Game number 2 on Tomb of the Spider Queen. After TeamLiquid took the match on Cursed Hollow, we're seeing them now against Bob on on Tomb of the Spider Queen. To the left side of the map, the Spanish team with Vortex on Khaldor, Falcon playing Reyna here, and on this map in particular, Seasoned Marksman is of course going to be his best friend. Blackscope this time on Arthur's, with Gran Paqueta on Malfurion, and Lucifron on Johanna. To the right side of the map, it's Zarmani on Azebo for Bob, Snitch playing Zeratul. They picked it away from TeamLiquid. We have Bakery on Kharazim the Monk, ADRD on Zagara, and Ethereal Angel is playing Muradin. So yeah, it's going to be a fun game between the two of them here. Already we're seeing that, look at that, Snitch did not go into Seasoned Marksman. Instead he went into Regeneration Master against this lineup here. Now that's a pretty interesting touch. It's the best map for Seasoned Marksman by far, and he decided to not take it, not go for that late game damage, but instead for more sustainability that he has, thanks to this of course also being the best map for talents like Conjurer's Pursuit and Regeneration Master. So it's 5-man mid, by the way, like both of the teams are heavily committing to that battle in the mid lane. Reyna is the only hero, therefore, that commits to Seasoned Marksman and therefore to the late game. Besides that, we're seeing Transcendence for Kharazim, which is pretty much the norm. I mean, Bakery really loves to play the hero, and this is one of the maps where he usually tries to play him. Also, no block for Arthur's, but instead it is Regeneration Master that is going to help him out quite a bit. Reverberation build for Muradin, and that's going to help, especially in the later stages of the game against Reyna, trying to reduce his attack damage, of course, or at least the attack speed and therefore the damage. We have Moonburn on level 1 for Malfurion, and they were kind of forced to play Malfurion here. The bans on Uther and Rhaegar didn't really make it possible for them to go into anything else. The interesting part here is that we're seeing Bob now heading into a 1-tank combo together with that Zeratul that they can use here. They have with Maw and with Void Prism 2 great heroic abilities to section off parts of the opponent's team and trying to focus down the rest, or disengage depending on how the fight actually goes. For now, in the mid lane, Bakery with that self-sustain that the Monk is granting him is doing whatever he can to just like keep the lane experience. Up at the top lane, Lucifon already moving in against Zarmany, and Nazeebo will really try to just like go for as much poke damage as he can. In this game, of course, it's extremely important on the map to really have a close look at the two objectives, or at the turn-in spots, and that's where Zagara with her creep comes into play to really provide vision. But therefore, it's also a great counter pick to see Arthas played by TeamLiquid, because that Frozen Tempest is going to help Arthas to detect the creep tumors and take them out. And they have a lot of heroes that can really deal with creep tumors quite easily. So I'm very curious to see how exactly this is going to work for them. At this point, we're having ADRD currently at the bot lane, and as usual on this map, we have the mid lane and the top lane roamed by both of the teams. This is one of the things that you not only see when there is an Asmodean composition, but also with any other kind of composition. As long as you have a very solid roaming squad, you are trying to just dominate both of the lanes, so that you can also get those additional globes. In the case of TeamLiquid, it's not only about the regeneration globes, but also, of course, about good old seasoned marksman Reyna. And I've been harping about this a bit, but Falcon played a great Reyna just yesterday when he played him on Dragonshire, and he got a lot of stacks because he focused on just taking down minions as much as he potentially could throughout the entire course of the game, and then in the late game he just hit like a truck, and that's exactly what he's going to try and do here as well. Level 4, with the talents that you would expect at least thus far. Destruction for Arthas for the bit of extra damage he can really use here. The Netherwind, oh, great kill against Johanna here. Even their Laws of Hope didn't really help. And a double kill, Malfurion down 2, and Snitch survives the triple kill as Kalthas goes down. Bob opening things up with a triple kill here. That was really well done, and that's a lot of gems that were suddenly lost by TeamLiquid. So very nice move here. Zagara at the bot lane, well, she's having a party here. Blackscope doesn't even know where to go. He's like, well, I need to soak experience in the mid lane, but at the same time I need to be down at the bot lane. So yeah, this part is completely in the hands of Zagara, but Blackscope is doing whatever he can with the Frozen Tempest to push her back. Turn-in successful, at least for most of the gems here, so those gems are already secure. That's always good. We have with the focused attack not only for Arthas, but also not only for Reyna, but also for zeratul. Now a lot of auto attack damage here. The red web weavers are descending first, as Zagara was able to turn in at the bot lane. Snitch is still starting to roam here, and that helps him at least with the stacks for Regeneration Master. No seasoned marksman for them, but they have the level 7 talent a bit faster, and that helps a lot, especially when we're looking at the Echo of Heaven now for the extra heals. The Toad build for Nazeebo, no git bin in this case. Oh, and they're trying to trap, they're trying to trap Johanna, but they're breaking through the wall of zombies. Still the Piercing Bolt in this case for Meridian, so we've already seen one Reverberation build with battle momentum. It's always a bit of a question of how many of those you really need to get out during these fights. And the last time that we saw Meridian in game number 1, it was more so about the triple warrior setup that Bob used, which is one of the reasons why battle momentum was applied. Now we have both of the teams on level 7. That at least helps Kalthas with Fission Bomb to get some additional damage out there. But the mid lane is heavily pressured by Bob, and they are starting to rotate to the top now, where the web weavers are already destroyed, but we have TeamLiquid still. They need still to rotate and take these web weavers down, and that's why they have to abandon the top lane, and they open up a path for Bob to do even more damage. And with the first web weaver set this early in the game, the only thing that you're looking for is to take down a few of the towers. Very rarely are you going to be able to drop even a fort, and in this case the only thing that they were able to get were 4 towers, and that is more than enough. At the bot lane they also applied pressure to these two, so that really helped here. We have, by the way, a Revolution Overdrive now taken, the Rune Tap. And after Harmony on our Rampant Growth on level 4, we see again Enduring Growth for Gran Paquete. He went for a full heal build in the first game already. And in this game, I feel he has to be a bit careful, because zeratul can try and go deep for kill, at least for a bit of extra damage. And Malfurion might feel forced to go into his Ice Block on level 13. For now, Ethereal, the one, has to jump away. Yeah, no problem for him. Living Bomb actually not applying any additional damage. Mid lane, that's where Snitch is still trying to keep experience up. And on a map like this, oftentimes you're just like trying to get a bit more globes in this case. A Snitch for a few seconds can really just like lane and get a bit of experience. It's not really a problem for him. We have them rotating again now at the bot lane here. And at this point, Blackscorp and his boys were trying to turn in, but so far they have not succeeded in turning a single gem in. Snitch is getting rid of the 6 gems that he has, and apparently Nazeebo is trying to do the exact same thing. They control the middle of the map, and map control is everything on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And with the level 10, it is going to hit any second for them. We have it now to the right side here. They find themselves in a very solid spot. Of course, we have no... Well, in this case, it's actually better to go for the... not the Ravenous Spirit, but instead Gary the Gargantuan, just because there's quite a bit of lockdown that we're seeing on the opponent's side, and you can really use that to interrupt the channel on the Ravenous Spirit. It's not too much range, but still, like, there's a few options that they have, so this is like the better safe than sorry heroic that is being picked by Nazeebo here. Divine Palm, Maw, Void Prison, and also Avatar, and they are going in. Wow, this is, on top of that fort, a 5 versus 5 battle, and here comes the Void Prison. The fort is already gone. TeamLiquid maybe going a bit too deep here. Vortex is completely split from the rest of the team, and with a Maw, they're locking the next one down. 2 heroes locked down, and TeamLiquid is making the same mistake basically as a lot of people in Quick Match. Never fight 9 versus 10. They did. Well, they kind of had to be fair, because in this case the bot fort was attacked and they couldn't simply let that go, but they stayed a bit too long after the fort is down. They stuck around a bit longer, didn't really retreat in time, and in this case Bob just exploited that mercilessly. Bob saw an opportunity, and they have with Maw and with Void Prison, as pointed out at the beginning of the game, 2 great abilities that they can use to section off heroes, and that's exactly what they did. They started with a kill on Kalthas and used the Maw to prevent 2 more heroes to get away. Now it's 6 kills against 0 in their favor, and Bob is also getting the next turn in. They're really running this with as much momentum as they can possibly build up, and they're doing a great job here. It's level 10 versus 10 now, though, with a Hyperion, Army of the Dead, Phoenix, Tranquility, and Bless Shield used as the heroic abilities on the side of the Spanish team. The bot lane, zeratul is still there, trying to apply some damage, and the Web Weavers, of course, are going to try and push this in, so he's getting rid of the wave as fast as he can. Up at the top, it's a 5 versus 4, though, but the Web Weaver is helping out here. Hyperion now used as well, and the disengage on the side of Bob. A lot of the heroics already used. Zeratul can now move into the mid lane after he helped out the Web Weavers at the bot, and can potentially even drop a Void Prison. Like, he has it back up and is already moving in with some extra damage. Nice wall of zombies. Lucifron is cut off from the rest of the team and gets locked down. Johanna is dead. The Maw a bit unnecessary here, but they still go for Grand Paquette, who was trapped in the Void Prison. And wow, Bob is playing a great game here. Grand Paquette with the attempt to escape, but of course this is just wishful thinking at this point. Down goes the top fort now. In the middle, another fort has been lost, and TeamLiquid is getting schooled here right now. Level 13 talent, the Toads of Hugeness after the level 7 follow-up. We have already Wormhole chosen, Relentless, Zagara most likely gonna go for Mutalisk. Could also, of course, go for the extra range on the Hunter Killer, and within a talent advantage and also more heroes on the board, Bob is going straight for boss. They are playing an amazing game right now. They have all the momentum in the world, and the cool thing about what they do here is they do not let TeamLiquid rest. Not for a second. They go from one move to another. There's not a wasted second in the movements of Bob at all. They allow the turn in here at the bot lane. That was a smart move by TeamLiquid as well. Just making sure that they get at least a turn in. They know that they are going up against the boss here. They know that Bob is doing something, but they can just simply not stop all of this, especially when they're currently down in talents. So they just decide to go for the Web Weavers. That will give them some experience, de-push a few of the lanes, which is important, but of course it also wastes, well, it doesn't really waste the turn in, but at least it provides a bit of counterplay. The Web Weaver here already eliminated up at the top. The boss is dead. Did not really go through the entire wall, but you can see how Bob is now starting to rotate down to the bot lane to take a Web Weaver again. We were talking about Reyna, by the way. We have him at 30 stacks already. We're 10 minutes in, nearly 11, so he's at 32 stacks right now, which is actually pretty decent. It's pretty solid when you're playing on Tomb of the Spider Queen, especially considering the situation that TeamLiquid is in. So in the later stages of the game, he should be able to supply quite a bit of extra damage. And looking at the hero damage in general, he's currently at 10,000, which isn't too bad. But yeah, he's going to increase that over the course of the game. Now for Bob, it's really important that they are still using the advantages that they have and that they don't let up. You need to exploit advantages that you have in Heroes of the Storm, especially, of course, since the threat is always that the opponent is going to close the gap in experience, and you will face level 20 talents with you not taking down a single keep. So Bob is playing a great game, but they need to drop a keep. That's really what this is all about. Drop the structures, drop the keep, and maneuver TeamLiquid in a position where they cannot bounce back. And right now, TeamLiquid has the level 13 talent, and that is where the chain bombs come into play. Again, they're jumping in. Lucifron, he's getting low, but they have to jump away right now. Blessed Shield is locking them down, and that's the kill against Mirrodin. Well played here. No Divine Palm in this case. Bakery could not get close enough, and now it's a 5 versus 4. TeamLiquid moving away for now at least. Nice gravity lapse against Snitch, but he jumps in again. Snitch needs to be careful here. He forces out Tranquility, but now is at least the Void Prison baited out, but he goes in again. He should have his blink up, by the way. So he's looking for Grand Paquette. Grand Paquette has still his heroic up and is using it as we speak. Life Seed on level 13 from Malfurion gives him even more heals, but of course he does not have that ice block. In this case, Gravity Lab's not doing a thing. Relentless on Arthas helps him out. Level 16 any second now for Bob, and they have 5 heroes on the map again. Those Web Weavers are still pushing the mid lane and also the top lane. A few of those towers will definitely fall, and that's a level 16 talent now for Team Bob as Mirrodin is starting to move in again. Level 16, and that gives them the Rending Cleave. We have the Leaping Spider as now also the Brood expansion here for the Double Hunter Killer with the Circle of Life applied and the Life Seed for Mirrodin. A lot of tankiness on the heroes right now, and they're going straight for a kill against Johanna, but they don't get her just yet. Lucifron moves away in the last second. Web Weaver's already gone, and they are starting to pressure the mid lane. Up at the top, the towers have fallen, but the Web Weaver is also annihilated, but they're still putting pressure onto that top keep. And they're just lingering around at the left side of the map, stealing away the camps of TeamLiquid. They have a 2-level lead and the extra talents. And Bob, they want this. They want this victory right now. They want to have map number 3, and that would, of course, be their chance to advance to the winner bracket final. Can they take down the Spaniards? They're in a great spot, but TeamLiquid is not making any mistakes anymore at this point. They're playing it safe, extremely safe, and they need to. They have to. They're down a talent, and they're doing whatever they can to make sure that they're not completely falling apart here. They're playing a game from behind at this point, and they're doing it as well as they possibly can. Just staying close to their own keeps, making sure that they take just one wave after another, not pushing it too far out, at least not when they are alone on the map. They have 53 gems, and they are holding on to them. 10 gems on the side of the red team turned in already, and they're going for a few more, but they don't have too many. They have maybe like 10 amongst the 5 of them, so they're going up to the top lane again, and TeamLiquid is just buying some time, getting some experience. And of course at this point Bob knows already they need to do something. They need to really exploit that advantage that they have right now, and they're trying to get to the top keep. In the mid lane we have the Bruiser Cam pushing in. Snitch is also there. He can rotate around again. Reyna is just going to get stronger and stronger throughout the duration of the game, and that is definitely something that Bob has to be aware of. It's one more level until TeamLiquid hits level 16 talents now too. Zeratul is moving in again. Here comes the Phoenix already applied. We have the Gargantuan coming into play, and Snitch is jumping away in the last second. All the time, these chain bombs. Kel'Thas, the big threat to Bob right now, but the keep is on half health, and they are still poking. Ammunition is nearly gone, so they can dive that. They can dive it hard if they want to. Here comes the Gravity Lapse. Why does the Gravity Lapse hit the Mutalisk? It's already flying. Okay, that part I don't understand. Blizzard, lore, help, please. That being said, though, we have the top keep still alive, and they are rotating back right now. They don't want to fight against the level 16. You can really tell that the time that they choose to move back is only because they know just one more wave and TeamLiquid is going to hit the 16 talent. So they let the top keep go, and now Bob is suddenly fighting on even talents with their opponents again. Arcane Barrier after the Hunter Killer, sorry not the Hunter Killer, but the Giant Killer talent on level 13 for Falcon's Reno. We are now seeing also Bullseye applied again. Tenacious Roots, here comes the Hyperion. Oh, chain bombs everywhere. Aethero moves back, and so does Sagara. They're jumping in for the fight. More already being used. The Hyperion is still flying around, and we have the Void Prison used, but in this case not hitting too much. Oh, Kharazim is in a bit of trouble, needs to move back here. Black Scorp is zoning them out, but Divine Palm saves him for now. AD already also alive. They're all just welling up and turning around. Again, Gary is about to die, but they're still moving in, and Black Scorp is starting to lose quite a bit of hit points. Tranquility is already gone. All of their heroic abilities penalties have been applied, and now Bob is on the run. They're going straight for Reina, and in this case, of course, his passive kicks in right away, but down here we are seeing the two tanks rushing away. TeamLiquid is trying to secure their position here. Level 16 versus 17. Snitch is moving in once more with the singularity spike. The stun and the kill against Reina. Well played. Reina down, and now what are they going to do? Are they going to move for boss, or are they just going to try and push the keep in? They need to make a move right now. They have a 2-level lead, and that at least gives them some stats already. Snitch is moving in. He knows that the next move of TeamLiquid is to try and turn in, and all that they have to do right now is make sure that that doesn't happen. He's already using the singularity spike. Can he jump in? Yes, moves away, but now Vortex. Nah, he's not using it just yet. The boss already applied, but this is going to be a completed turn in. Blue web weavers are going to be descending, and that is going to push not only the mid lane but also the bot lane up to the top. There's the boss pushing in, and this keep is a goner. No chance to keep this one alive. But what about the mid lane? That's where we have already the red team pushing in. Bob is waiting for the web weaver. Web weaver doesn't actually care, moves just away past them and goes straight for the lane, but they are rushing over to take the keep, and they burst it down. Their keep gone, but the tenacious roots applied, and Bakery has to jump away here, and he does. Rushes away for now. Falcon at this point on Reina has, by the way, 46 extra damage. He's really getting to a number where his attacks are starting to hurt a lot, and that is reflected in his damage as well. You know, 28,000. Not as much as he might be able to put out at this point, but still, it's getting really solid there. TeamLiquid is moving straight in. They know that they have only another level where they are on the same talent. After that, it's going to be level 20 for their opponents, and they want to try to get as much damage in before that happens as they possibly can. Bot lane is getting pushed now too. That's where we're seeing the web weaver still alive, and Bob is willing to fight here. The 2-level lead for them, and they are sacrificing the fort, at least for now. They are playing it passive now. They took their chances earlier. Nice jump by Ethereal Angel. And 2 of the keeps gone. They know that there's no need for them to fight right now. They can play this safe and sound, at least for now, but Zagara is in trouble. Zagara gets locked down. Divine Palm already applied, but in this case they're not dying, but Reina is dead. Reina dead, and a great Void Prism in the backline is isolating 2 of the heroes, and that also includes Grandpa Keta with Tranquility. They're going in again. Bakery already dashing away. He needs to make sure that he doesn't die here, but he does not have his level 20 just yet, and he already used the Divine Palm. Grandpa Keta whiz over with Tranquility. They're jumping in again, living bombs everywhere, but it is not enough. Snitch jumps away, and they go for Malfurion, and he is down, and so is Khaldor. Lucifron and Blackscorp, the only 2 survivors, but not for long. Johanna dead, and now they're cleaning house, and this is game, ladies and gentlemen. Bob has level 20. They took level 20 in this case, and now they can just move over to the core and finish this. It's going to be a 3rd game between TeamLiquid and Bob. A 1-1 in the series. The series is tied. Only Reina is alive, but he doesn't even bother anymore, and why would he? There is nothing that he can do at this point. Congratulations, Bob. They make it happen. Their map choice, they are on Tomb of the Spider Queen. They take down TeamLiquid. They give the Spaniards a run for their money and force them into game number 3 here at the Winner Bracket Semifinal of the Enter the Storm. An amazing game by Bob here. They take game number 2, and therefore we are going to see a 3rd map between the 2 teams here to decide which team drops in the loser bracket and which team is going to be able to reach the winner bracket final. Right now, next map is Sky Temple. It is TeamLiquid's map choice. It's one of their favorite maps, of course. It's a map where they usually try to play the Lost Vikings together with Illidan and Abathur. But already in the draft, Abathur and the Lost Vikings were banned out by Bob. They know exactly what TeamLiquid likes to play here, and therefore they're trying to prevent that as soon as they can. It's also kind of funny to see that Reina again changes teams. In the first game was played by Bob. In the second game then suddenly TeamLiquid picked him up, and now in game number 3 he's back on the side of Bob. So Jimmy apparently not really a very loyal character, getting picked up, like changing sides the entire time with the winning team. In this case right now we of course have to find out if he can be victorious again For now, actually, we're looking at this match where we have Khaldor and Reyna as the damage dealers for Bob. We're seeing them also in this case with Kharazim again. Kharazim being played, and they rely on double warrior, so it's more back to the traditional style. They basically like played every single warrior combination that was possible in those 3 maps. Triple warrior, single warrior, and now a dual warrior setup. And when we're looking at TeamLiquid, they still play this with a very aggressive composition around Illidan. They have a Johanna that helps to protect the backline, especially Vala, but they're also running a Tyrael here. So Illidan and Tyrael can go in deep for these kills. And in this setup, it's all about the momentum that you really get. If TeamLiquid is able to get that momentum during those fights, Illidan is going to clean house here. Very few of the heroes that we're seeing for Bob have actual escape, so it's going to be pretty difficult for them to keep them alive if the momentum turns against them. So they have to make sure that they control these fights as tight as possible. And well, guys, we're going to find out together now in game number 3 here in Sky Temple which team will advance to the winner bracket final. Is it going to be TeamLiquid? Is it going to be Bob? Let's find out together. The last game in the best of 3 series, TeamLiquid is fighting against Bob. Tomb of the Spider Queen, game number 2, ended in favor of Bob, and now they are playing the 3rd game. And this is Sky Temple, a map that TeamLiquid loves to play. Their Illidan, Abathur, and Vikings composition is absolutely infamous on this map. They are super strong with it, which is one of the reasons why we saw Abathur and the Lost Vikings banned by Bob. Now Vortex is playing Johanna. We have Black Scorp still in Illidan, with Lucifron chipping in on Tyrael, Falcon on Vala, and Gran Paquete on Uther. To the right side of the map now we have Bob playing with Zarmini on Arthas, Bakery is playing Kharazim, we see Snitch on Khaldor, Aethera Angel on Leoric, and ADRD is playing Arena. Which is kind of interesting, because, well, Reyna is one of those heroes that is extremely strong, and when it comes to his auto attacks, it's very difficult to rival his damage, but one of the problems that he has is just the escape. And ADRD is not even playing him with Seasoned Marksman. It's not the best map for Seasoned Marksman either way, but one of the things that he actually does right now is he instead goes straight into his level 1 talent, give me more. So more sustain for him, that makes it a bit easier to survive the pressure that could potentially come out from a hero like Illidan. And Illidan with a Divine Shield is always a really scary thought, and it's one of the things that they are trying to do here. Snitch with the attempt to lock somebody down, but Falcon is just simply floating around on its Hearthstone card here, using that mount. And basically the Hearthstone card is the poor man's doubloon. Like, if you're too cheap or too poor to buy a doubloon, you use the Hearthstone card. It just showcases that you are not cool enough, you're not rich enough to really, you don't have enough swag to really ride the doubloon there. So Falcon already outing himself. I like that in a man, so he's very honest about this. But yeah, real man ride the money pig or the doubloon. Goblin doesn't count, thing is ugly, so don't get me started with that. But yeah, doubloon, that's where it's at. In regards to the talents, Transcendence, again, for good old Kharazim here. I mean, like, Kharazim these days is being played as a full healer. I've never really seen in a competitive play a player that chose to go for, like, a damage Kharazim. Sometimes we see the 7-sided strike, but on level 1 it's usually Transcendence all the way. So in this case, that's exactly what we are getting. We have also a bit of a damage build for Tyrael, who went into Purge Evil with the additional damage against heroes, a multi-shot build for Vala, and still the pressure up at the top lane, where Falcon is starting to be in a bit of trouble, because right now they are pushing down the well tier now too. ADRD and Snitch are helping out Kharazim, who with all of his self-sustain is easily taking that shrine that we are seeing up at the top of the temple. So right now we have currently the bot lane completely abandoned. Neither TeamLiquid nor Bob has anybody down here. Oh, Aethera Angel wraith walking it away for now. And a double, look at that, we have a double amplified healing in this case now. So the top fort is about to be dropped. Very nice pressure play from Bob, and they are not getting the kill. Wow. I don't think they expected that to happen. Now, do we have a potential mule for TeamLiquid? No, we do not. So it's not going to happen. Well, it's not going to be healed up in either way. So we're not going to see any mules in this game, but now we have even Arsenal picked for Vala with the extra pressure play. But of course Bob is going to be a bit salty about not dropping that fort. It's all about the experience at this point, and you want to have that EXP. Lucifron is double checking the bushes to make sure that nobody is trying to sneak in and take it down. Focused attack now on level 4 for Reyna, and they are moving in. They really want to get that kill, but ADRD getting rather low, and here comes the Flame Strike in the last second and supplies that XP that they wanted to have. So yeah, they had to fight for this one a bit more than they probably thought they would have to. But now Vortex, oh my god, Vortex just barely dying. Johanna looked for a second like she would be able to get away there, but nope. Too much pressure. Bob with very, very nice moves here on the map once again, and they secure themselves a faster level 7. They're already rotating around. They're thinking about stealing the Siege Giant camp away. Black Scorp is in the bushes. He saw all of that. He's of course the hero that they are trying to look out for, since he's really easily able to take down one of those mercenary camps, and that doesn't only apply to the Siege Giants, but also to the Bruiser camp. But that's exactly where he's headed now. He's going for the Bruiser camp, trying to steal this one. The level 7 talents give Bob a slight advantage. Rune Tap, Fission Bomb, probably the Ghostly Reach, yes indeed, and also the Breath of Heaven used for level 7 here, together with the Evolution Overdrive. But TeamLiquid has their own level 7 talent now as well, and with that they have a double battle momentum on Johanna and also on Tyrael. We are seeing first aid played by Illidan. So no thrill of battle. Sometimes you see a thrill of battle being used. It's one of the things that especially Lowell for Fnatic played a lot when he was up against Jaina's, against any kind of hero that has a lot of spell damage, because the cooldown reduction bonus that you get from thrill of battle will allow you after level 13 to apply that shield even more often, and that can be really valuable and give you even more sustain than first aid if you're going in these situations. Oh, Snitch missing that move here on Lucifron, but Tyrael dies regardless. So kill number 3 for TeamLiquid, but yeah, Snitch nearly ruined that kill. It was a bit unfortunate that he didn't hit it, but still, with everybody else jumping in and Kharazim dashing into for the kill, they were able to secure that experience boost here, and also, of course, put more pressure onto TeamLiquid, who now has to give up the bot shrine. Bot temple in the hands of Zarmany, and they are rotating over there. To the top lane, we see Black Scorp helping out that Bruiser camp and pushing in. They already realized that they wouldn't be able to just like break through the bot lane and go for the temple to secure those shots. So instead, it's now an attack from 3 heroes at the bot lane against the fort. Once more, Bob is trying to make sure that they're getting another structure eliminated, and they are super close to 10. They hit their heroic ability, and we have the March of the Black King, Phoenix, Divine Palm, and next to that, we are probably gonna see, oh, Reyna's Raiders in this case. No Hyperion this time, single target damage. That Illidan is gonna have a pretty tough time later on in the game, with the Army of the Dead coming into play now. And at the top lane, there's still the pressure against the fort. Lucifron and the rest of the Spanish boys are there, dropping the structure, but the boss is being attacked down at the mid lane, and Lucifron or Vortex finds it a bit too late, so the boss is barreling down the bot lane now, and that is a very interesting development. That opens a lot of space in the mid lane for Bob to pressure in again. Heroic abilities for TeamLiquid are now ready too, and in this case, we are having, well, Blessed Shield, Metamorphosis, Judgment, so they can go deep with Illidan, Divine Shield and Strafe. And here comes Judgment already straight for good old Khaldor, but he gets held out. Kharazim dashes to his assistance. Reyna's Raiders in play, and a nice Divine Palm here, saving for now. Kharazim, oh, well done here. Kharazim and Khaldor both alive, and it's a triple kill against TeamLiquid with an 80 already, even surviving on Reyna with just a few hit points. A perfect Divine Palm here once again from Bakery, and it just shows why he is such an excellent player on Monk. His Kharazim play is completely unrivaled on the European server right now. Once again, perfect timing for him. He keeps everybody alive, dashes in at the beginning to keep Khaldor alive, and then he saves the rest of the team as well. Very well done, and of course also the damage that came out here of Reyna's Raider pushing down Illidan, and they just dropped everybody here. And all of a sudden, we are seeing Bob in a very significant lead, actually, against TeamLiquid. Very well done here. Not only the boss that went through not the gate and the tower, but they're just like roaming through the map, taking additional mercenary camps. They're very close to level 13 now, that they can use to get the extra damage in. And of course, with the 13 talent, they will at least get one of those 2 temples. And I do not think that TeamLiquid can really rival that. They are probably just like trying to counter-rotate to another temple and try to take those shots. But the situation for Bob is very, very good. Lucifron down here is surprised by Bakery and Zarmany. Illidan went up to the top lane, so the shots are taken. And also, with the move down to the bot lane, they protect those 2 Siege Giants, so they can move in with those, and they even steal them away from their opponent. So it's going to be 4 Siege Giants at the bot lane. Vortex is thinking about moving in, but this is a really tricky situation right now. Up at the top lane, Illidan and Vala soaking experience and claiming that temple, but down here, 4 Siege Giants are moving in, and it's not only that, that extra talent is now giving them the living bombs and the chain bomb talent for that, so they are moving in with all that extra damage, even Phoenix being used already, and this is great. The steal resolve once again for Reyna, and the keep is gone. They just move in and take it down. Illidan is still up at the top, soaking those shots, and there's just nothing that TeamLiquid can do. It was extremely well done. I mean, if in this case Bob moves to the top lane, those Siege Giants are eliminated and they have nothing to show for. But they played it extremely solid. They already eliminated a keep and they find themselves still in the lead here. They go through the lanes, drop those few minion waves that are still there, and could even try to secure themselves maybe another bruiser camp, but in this case TeamLiquid is about to hit level 13, so they are not going to risk it here. TeamLiquid, as I said before, they really need to snowball in one of these fights, and then it's going to be very, very difficult for Bob to come back into this. But right now Bob is just playing this as safe as they can, and all of the fights that they have fought against TeamLiquid so far in this game were very controlled, and especially Kharazim was making sure that nobody died early on. If he misses a single Divine Palm, then on the other hand, then they might be in trouble. But at least the chain bombs are going to give them a lot of damage. By the way, no spell shield. No spell shield for any of the heroes that we're seeing for the opponent's team. We're having a Burning Rage, Shrink Ray, Imposing Will, Frost Shot of course for the multi-shot build Vala, and also in this case now the evasion talent for Illidan to negate some of the spell damage. But the spell shields have been ignored, and Khaldor is pretty happy about that right now. In the mid lane, we have a Thero Angel doing Leoric things, aka pushing the lanes back, getting a bit more experience for the team. And you can really tell that Bob is just sitting there and saying like, why would we fight you again? There's no temple on the map. Why would we go out and fight you? No, we're just like moving through the map. We have a Thero Angel on Leoric trying to soak experience. We are focusing on the lanes that push against us. We get the XP for level 16, and then, yeah, then you are happy to try and fight against us because we are going to have that lead and we're going to run with it. So right now, perfect play on the side of Bob, TeamLiquid, in a very odd spot right now. We are in the Winner Bracket Semifinal. This is the final map. TeamLiquid, they need to win this if they want to reach the Winner Bracket Final. If they lose here, then it means they drop into the losers bracket, and they really don't want to risk that. The teams are aiming for the mercenary camps again, and this is perfect time for them. The shrines are about to be activated, or the temples, and they are just trying to rush in to take these camps as fast as they can. There's another 16 seconds until we see the Siege Giant camp on the side of TeamLiquid spawn, and already the rotation is happening to make sure that they are getting access to the temples. But Vortex has to move to the bot lane. He needs to de-push these Siege Giants, and that allows now a Thero Angel to take a few shots from the temple at the bot lane, and the rest of the team is already rotating over up to the top, pressuring Tyrael, who's getting rather low. So does Black Scorp, and this is with the 16 talents. Once again, Bob moving in. They have now Stone Skin. We have a full damage build on Arthur's, going on level 13 into the Biting Cold. And guess what? TeamLiquid is moving away. They don't want to fight against level 16. There's not only the Echo of Heaven, but by now we have the Circle of Life as well for Kharazim, and it looks very much like we are going to see Bob take 2 potential shrines. The one up the top lane, or the temple, is already running out of ammunition, and we are seeing a rotation from the rest of the players down to the bot lane to rival this one as well. Arcane Barrier is going to keep Snitch alive. Here comes again a Gravity Lapse. Nice move. Divine Shield for now is all that he needs, but the turnaround against ADRD. He's rushing away, and Kharazim is not here yet, so the kill for TeamLiquid, and this is what they needed. Phoenix in play, March of the Black King already used, Bakery is moving in, no Divine Palm just yet, but he uses it now, but it looks like Zarmony is going to survive. A double kill and potential triple kill for Bakery and his boys. Wow, they get the triple kill. Reynar, he died early on in the fight, but now it could even be the death of Grand Paquette. He's moving away right now. Bakery jumping in, dashes away to Snitch, but that was extremely well done. They get the shots at the bot temple now, and for a second that really looked like TeamLiquid might lose or might win that fight. At the beginning they took down Reynar, and then Bob was in trouble. But as is, it's 8 kills against 1, and currently TeamLiquid, they apparently have found their master. They are up against the team that now destroyed the second keep number 2 eliminated, and the shots are still firing against the one up at the top lane. And boss is now the least of TeamLiquid's problems. It's not only that the boss is being attacked, but it's also the temple still firing. Yes, this one is going to be taken. Lucifer is a bit too late. He has the level 16 talent here. He has Holy Ground, but he cannot prevent it. He just comes a second too late. great Falcon with the strafe again. Radar's already in play. Immediately the judgment on Khaldor in the backline, but he still has his arcane barrier up and uses his ADR. He's a bit trapped, but he gets the damage in against Vortex. Down goes Kharazim though. Kharazim dead, but the kill against Vala, and now it looks like Illidan is going to be in a lot of trouble as well. Down goes Black Scop, and Grand Paquette is going to be the next target for Zarmany and Snitch. They are rushing in. Lucifron is about to die. The Banshees moving in, and the GG already called as Bob is about to take down the entire Team Liquid lineup. It's a team kill once again. Reina dying at the end of the fight too, but now the boss is already on core. There's a Siege Giant camp helping him out, and the rest of the team is just rushing over to finish the job. Team Liquid are in the losers bracket. Bob advances to the winner bracket final after a 2-1 victory over the Spanish team. A great performance by Bob here, and they take down Team Liquid and advance now to the next match here in the winner bracket. Great play by Bob. They take the series with a 2-1. Really amazing performance here. They fell down in the first game. Actually, lost game number 1, Cursed Hollow, but then they won 2 in a row. Pretty incredible performance against a team like Team Liquid. So Bob, super strong today, and they reach the winner bracket final. Very well played here. Team Liquid is not out of the tournament just yet. They drop, of course, in the loser bracket now, where they will have another opportunity to win the tournament. But that's definitely not the road through the tournament bracket that they envisioned here. Bob is of course pretty happy about this, and again the Kharazim play, especially on the side of Bakery, came through for them. So great play by them. I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and also of course the commentary. If you did, give the video a thumbs up on YouTube. If you have any questions about the performance of the two teams, then just drop a comment in the comment section. And yeah, it was a pleasure casting for you boys. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'm gonna see you next time. Thank you very much for tuning in today, and I'm gonna see you with more Enter the Storm tournament videos in just a bit. So enjoy your day, have a good one, and see you soon. Bye bye.